Vidak Radonjic. He is the founder and managing partner of Beryl Consulting Group. Vidak, great to have you back on the show.
Good evening, Michelle.
Vidak, you have been watching this market volatility very closely. I'm sure last week stocks suffered their worst Thanksgiving week since 2011. Today, bouncing back in the green. What do you make of it?
I think this is great. The volatility is back. I think the market is finally finding its rationality. The markets, for traders who are not machine learning traders and who are not algo traders, this is a good market for people who are experienced, because if there is no volatility, the trader doesn't exist.
Certainly a good market for hedge funds and those that benefit from there being volatility.
For good hedge funds, unfortunately, 90% of hedge funds are not good hedge funds. So that's why you have somebody there to find and select good hedge funds. Most hedge funds, unfortunately, are people who came from big banks and they inherited some customers' money, and then they've been charging 220 for some time, and for a long time they've been making quite a bit of money. But then when the market changes, then they're looking for excuses.
So you're seeing this as just going back to a normal Wall Street pattern of volatility, even though gains have been practically erased for the S&P for the year.
Yes, the gains are erased, but you have to realize
for the index at large.
Yes, we have been this bull market for the last 10 years, so it's been a little bit overdone, right? So now we're getting back to reality, and I think now this is a good market for people who are seasoned and who appreciate volatility.
Right. Well, investors are hoping to hear something from the Fed. The Fed Chair Jerome Powell will be making a speech on Wednesday at the New York Economic Club. Mm-hmm. They're hoping that he gives some kind of indication that the Fed is going to pause its pattern of interest rate hikes. Well, are they going to get that, do you think?
Powell, I don't think he is going to be transparent. I think that's his policy. He said many times that he's not going to do what other Fed chairmen did, which was basically tell the people
every now and then.
Yeah, they were, like cheating in an exam, yeah. Right? So I think he's doing the right thing. I think he's, in my opinion, he's really good Fed chairman.
So he's not going to drop any hints, but do you see him pausing in the next rate hike?
He might have to pause because we have lots of headwinds against the market, and just because of that fact, he might have to pause. But otherwise, when you have low unemployment and inflation is going up, and now we have a trade war with China, which actually can push the inflation even higher and rates higher, that means Powell has a little room to maneuver here.
Speaking of the trade war, we're expecting a meeting between President Trump and President Xi Jinping at the G20 summit. Mm-hmm. Trade obviously is going to be a major topic. Some conflicting reports as to how much progress has been made in setting up the outline for this meeting. No one's really expecting them to walk away with a deal, but do you expect some significant breakthrough or a little bit of progress?
I think they will both pose a little bit. It's all about, it's a chess play, as we know right now. In terms of who is going to gain more, I think we're a little bit too late in the game to impose tariffs on Chinese because of the intellectual property theft, etc. That should have been done in the previous administration. So it's a little bit too late.
But you have to fight it now. I mean, do you continue kicking the can down the road?
Well, that's true as well.
You have to address it before it becomes an even bigger problem.
However, if we are facing unemployment, absolutely would be a good moment to do it. There are ways. Sometimes you should do things on the right moment, right? I'm not saying Trump is wrong imposing tariffs. I think that should have been done a long time ago.
All right, so he's trying to correct the wrongs of past administrations.
Sometimes
very quickly,
it's
Vidak.
Tough to do that.
Got to talk Bitcoin. I know you've been a skeptic.
Bitcoin? Oh my God, what is that? I never heard of that.
Well, it's now dropping significantly. It's down 80% from last year's high. It's sliding below $4,000 now.
It's a mean reversion. So basically, it should go to 1,500. Bitcoin is doing what it has been doing when it was 20,000, when it was 1,000. Nothing changed. Blockchain is here to stay, but Bitcoin is just a game.
Blockchain is here to stay. We're going to have to let you go now, though, Vidak. Good to have you with us.